Episode number 3, we're going to make this a little bit longer today, and we're going to talk about multiple topics. So bear with me. I mean, the first 2 episodes we just touched on specific talking points. We're going to get into just a roll through what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about my 30-day Facebook suspension that just happened. We're going to talk about part 2, the Missouri lawyers, Mark and Patricia McCloskey, kind of an interesting, different opinion of mine versus what people are reading from any source. Part 3, we're going to talk about Zerging and what's really going on. Zerging being a term that is not a new term. I'm going to go through all of that. Part 4 is going to be the 4 Toledo City Council members that were arrested for bribery, for taking bribes. That's kind of an interesting story based on my growing up in Toledo. I'm going to share some insights into that. Part 5, Minneapolis City Council members, their security detail. You know, fuck the police, but, they need security. They don't want any police for everybody else. Part 6, we're going to give a shout out to the Ohio Patriot 3%ers. And then we may do a part 7, which will be a surprise ending. I'm not sure how long this will run. But if we have time for a part 7, I'm going to talk about the part 7. And that topic is going to be a surprise for people who make it through all of the podcast. All right, so let's dig in. We're going to first talk about my Facebook suspension, which is pretty interesting. And, you get warned by Facebook. I call it shitbook because Mark Zuckerberg is, just a worthless piece of shit. But anyways, he does what he does. He's really good at censoring things. So the show and the podcast and the page for the show is not under suspension, but I do have to have somebody else actually post the episodes to the page in order to get you guys to be able to see them. And that's fine. But let's talk about your number one freedom, which is freedom of speech. And then let's talk about all of these worthless pieces of shit, or like I call them pussies, that want to actually infringe upon everybody else's rights. So a friend of mine, and I'm going to give him a shout out, Clifton Boston out of New York City. He and I have some great conversations about a lot of different things, but a black gentleman who actually, we're connected on Facebook, and we talk about a lot of great things just based on differences of opinion and how we grew up and life experiences and stuff of that nature. And it's a great back and forth. Well, he posted something. I don't even remember what the video was, but I responded and it was, again, I don't remember what it was, but my response was actually very simple. And my response literally was, check out these crazy white pieces of shit, right? Now, all of a sudden I'm flagged for 30 days, suspended for 30 days, because apparently that's a hate speech towards, wait. I'm confused. We're not allowed to call out even our own race for being stupid, okay? Because that's how delicate these crazy cat ladies, and when I say crazy cat ladies, that is gender neutral, right? Because there's just as many dudes who are waiting for their second ball to drop, don't have a sack, and their sack resides safely in their wives' purses, or whatever that looks like. It's really come down to the fact that Facebook and Twitter is being run by pussies, okay? They're not about free speech. Last time I checked, piece of shit. If you're a piece of shit, I'm going to call you a piece of shit. If you're crazy, I'm going to call you crazy. And if you're white, well, you're white. If I put all those together, you're a crazy, white, crazy piece of shit. Well, guess what? You're a white, crazy piece of shit. Sorry. Anyhow, so Facebook censored or actually suspended me. I'm going to show you that notice here that I took a screenshot of where it says all these crazy white pieces of shit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Maybe it only shows in my browser. I don't know. But all these crazy white pieces of shit, it says about your comment, no one else can see your comment, all these crazy white pieces of shit. I disagreed with it, so I challenged it. And I said, whoa, hold on a second, guys. First of all, if you're a piece of shit, well, again, you're a piece of shit. I'm white, and last time I checked, calling somebody crazy, I don't know. But apparently that's hate speech on Shitbook. All right. What you're seeing within social media is you're seeing this protected class of pussies. It really is. Their feelings are so delicate that if they disagree with you, that they want to, have some form of an anxiety attack, and how dare you, and the tragedy that happens is that free speech, your very God-given First Amendment right, is suppressed because, how dare I? How dare I offend somebody else? Well, I'm offended that they're offended, okay? Because last time I checked, a whole bunch of my brothers died. They died to make this country strong. And that wasn't based on politics. That was based on, giving the ultimate sacrifice. And at some point, probably Veterans Day or Memorial Day or whatever, I'll share those stories with you guys. A lot of my friends have heard them about my 4 lost brothers. Okay, so 6 years in the Army, I signed on the dotted line, and people challenge me all the time because I jokingly respond to the pussies that I'm more American than they are, right? I made that commitment for 6 years. I signed on the dotted line. I picked up a rifle, an assault weapon, right? And I went out there and I did it, okay? Now, there's a lot of people out there that they did it. And, should this person, this so delicate and fragile pussy, should their freedom of speech, their First Amendment, be protected from reality and the truth? And that's part of the problem. Okay, so social media, Twitter. I always tell everybody, just don't be a twit. Okay, I've never been into Twitter. Twitter is full of garbage. Twitter is full of people saying, hey, look at me. There's some of that on Instagram, right? Hey, here's I'm a pretty person, so you should follow me and you should buy everything I say because I make money as an affiliate marketer off of everything that I'm paid to do to convince you because I'm pretty that you should do what I do to be like me. All right. If you're one of those people, that's fine. You're sheep. Okay. You're a lemming. You're a lemming running to whatever, you want to be. In the end, be you. Okay. So the whole basis of this show, the whole basis of why I'm doing this is because it's my effort. I'm an extreme independent. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I probably pick on Democrats more often than I do Republicans because there's a lot more material there, right? There's plenty of material with the Republicans right now with Carrot Head. I mean, Donald Trump or President Trump. And, but it really goes back to, what's the opportunity? Where do I look at me being the independent thinker and encouraging you to be an independent thinker so that you're not thinking about the Bloods or the Crips. I mean, the Democrats or or Republicans versus Democrats, or Demoblicans versus Republicrats, or whatever that is, this garbage mentality of you're either red or blue. Last time I checked, you don't have to be red or blue. It is easy to be red or blue. It is thoughtless to be red or blue. And I challenge everybody who watches any of my stuff to think about it independently. Agree or disagree. You don't have to agree with me, okay? If you only agree with one thing that you get out of watching all of these shows where I call people out and I talk about what's going on and I pick on people, take one thing away. And that one thing that I want you to take away is think for yourself. Get past being a lemming. Get past being a pussy. Okay? Stand up for yourself and realize that people died to give you the right to have and express your own opinion, not the opinions of somebody else. All right, so I blast people all the time when they just parrot, okay? Parroting. They parrot, this idea that isn't even theirs or unique. When, and I'm going to pick on the Republicans for just a moment. They hear something that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, okay? A lot of stupid shit comes out of President Trump's mouth. A lot of stupid shit comes out of President Trump's mouth. And equally, what's her name? The raisin. Nancy Pelosi, right? Or Some of the people I'm even connected with on, or follow, Devin Nunes or Matt Gaetz or Jim Jordan or Kamala Harris or AOC, whatever her name is, Cortez, who else? Nadler, Schiff, all of these people, or the media sources of CNN, the Communist News Network, or Breitbart, that, God, you read some of their stuff and it's just like, we are Republican. We are right? Fox News. I mean, who else? MSNBC. I mean, all of them, right? They're just all trying to convince you to stop thinking for yourself and join their gang. Okay? Don't join their gang. Think for yourself. So when we talk about going back to my 30-day Facebook suspension, 30 days. Congratulations, Mark Sucks-a-Dick in Shitbook, that you have literally repressed my ability to speak freely for 30 days. Has it happened before? Absolutely. Last time I checked, if I'm a white dude that calls another group of white people crazy white pieces of shit, maybe I should have used garbage, crazy white garbage. Maybe I should have toned down my true feelings and suppressed my own freedom of speech to fit into that box of what is socially acceptable. I've got news for you. In my mind, most of the garbage that I see is socially unacceptable to me. And I matter too. And so do you. It's about time we go back and we realize that if they're willing to actually give me a 30-day, not 24 hours, not a 3-day suspension or a 7-day suspension, 30-day suspension for using such basic words. What are they doing to you? Okay. We're going to move on. That was enough of that one. Let's talk about part 2. Oh my God, part 2 is right here. These I'm going to give you a different take on this. What's their names? Mark and Patricia McCloskey. Okay. Everybody's seen this. We've seen the memes come out already. Ken and Karen and all of this other stuff. And I'm going to touch on something that's a little bit different than what you're reading and seeing, which is hilarious to me. And I'm amazed that people haven't put 2 and 2 together when it comes to this specific case. And what they're not sharing with you is that it is, well, I'll just tell you. All right. Mark and Patricia McCloskey are Democrats. Okay? They're Democrats. Because I've met so few lawyers ever in my life that aren't Democrats. And the reason being, these are personal injury attorneys. So when we look at what they do for a living, they're ambulance chasers. And they want to be able to sue companies. The most basic democratic ideal is they want to reward you for getting injured by taking money from somebody else and then earning a commission off of this. I'm not sticking up for them. They're the lowest form. I tell everybody that, personal injury attorneys are one step below whale shit on my food chain. And there's a reason. They profit off of the pain and suffering of others when it's a personal injury attorney. All right. So this group comes in. And they come into their private property. And the one thing everybody should know about me is that even though, I'm an independent, it really comes down to people ask me what my political views are all the time. Okay. And my political views actually can be summed up in one sentence. And that sentence is that I believe that everybody should have the freedom to exercise all of their rights. All of their rights. As long as, that's the three key words in this whole thing, as long as the exercising of your rights do not infringe upon the rights of others. Okay? Complete equality. Complete equality. I don't care if you're purple, green, chartreuse, glow in the dark, you were born on Mars, but you happen to be a U.S. citizen, I believe that everybody's rights are equal, completely equal. And that's why I also disagree with a lot of what both sides talk about or stand for. Okay, I cannot be a Republican and I cannot be a Democrat, and I just can't do that because I support the rights of everybody equally. Okay, think about that, because one of the things, we're trying to paint them, this group, this husband and wife. You've seen the videos come out where they're pointing guns at people, which that. Wow, right? They're pointing guns. Do they have the right to defend using their Second Amendment right? Their Second Amendment freedoms. Do they have the right to protect their property? The answer is yes. Now, do the other people have the right to protest and freedom of speech? Yes. However, never does one amendment supersede another amendment. Okay, the First Amendment isn't, just because it's the First Amendment doesn't mean that it supersedes and takes priority over the Second Amendment or the Third or the Fifth or the 10th or the 24th. Okay, because if that were true, this country just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. So I've been doing a little bit of background. And I research a lot of things when it comes to people and when it comes to the stories. And so I did a little bit of research on the people behind it. Okay, not the protest, not the incident, not these two Missouri lawyers, right? So these Democratic newspapers and these Democratic people are going after their own. They're calling them white supremacists in some of the shit that I'm reading for exercising their Second Amendment right. All right, now I'm not one of these. Do I own guns? Absolutely. Am I the guy with a zillion guns? No, not at all. But again, it goes back to their freedoms, their rights. Are they exercising their rights? Yes. Are they not as equally important as everybody else's? Okay. So then I read this story about how this St. Louis prosecutor pussy named Kimberly Garner, right? I'm going to blast this bitch because she is such a worthless piece of shit. She's going to go after them and try and charge them criminally. Okay? So you don't get to sit up in your glass house and throw stones. And I'm going to absolutely troll the fuck out of this woman, Kimberly Gardner. Okay? She shouldn't even be in office. It's funny when I actually go in and I start researching somebody, sometimes I have to dig. And sometimes I have to dig really hard. I had to look no further than her Wikipedia page. No further than that to just realize that this stupid asshole prosecutor, this pussy, should not even be in office. And we're going to talk about that because I'm probably going to piss off a whole bunch of people with what you're about to see. So, Circuit Attorney, Chief Prosecutor. She is the Chief Prosecutor. All right. Chief Prosecutor. She's in charge. All right. So as soon as I go through her credentials, she is known for low prosecution and conviction rates, low-level offender reforms, and the prosecution of Eric, whatever his name is. I didn't even know who this guy is. Why? Because, this dumbass chief prosecutor, is going after the limelight. Okay, that's all she's doing. All right, now I don't know if she's doing it because she's black, maybe. I don't know if she's doing it because she's a woman. I don't know. But the last time I checked, a prosecutor's job is to prosecute, and she's known for low prosecution. and conviction rates, which tells me she's bad at her job. If you just look at just those first two, this right here, low prosecution and conviction rates. All right, so let's put this into context for just a moment. Let's assume that your job, I don't know, let's pick something out of just your job is to your job is to feed horses. Let's just go with that. And somebody comes to you and says, hey, you're in charge of feeding all the horses. Yep, sure am. Why are they dying of starvation? Well, we're doing the best we can. You're doing the best you can at what?